Shall we put some lights in the scene and check our texture, how it renders in Arnold, and just do a few amendments and IPR rendering, yeah? I love this part. Okay. Skydome Light, I always use HDRI picture. There is, if you're interested, I can give you a free website where you can download free HDRIs. I just have few that I use all the time. Okay. We plugged it in the color. Yeah. So let's switch it off on the camera for the rendering. Let's open IPR. There we are. Oh, he's quite glossy, isn't he? We'll fix that. Don't worry. It's looking good. Okay, let's set up first the Skydome Light. That's our main one. So we can get the main light in. HDRI are very important for this effect. Okay, I'm trying to set up my screen so I can see and work at the same time. Let's rotate the Skydome a little bit. Let me see which way I'm rotating it. This way, okay. It depends on the angle that you're gonna be shooting at, if I can say that. That's how I put my Skydome Light as well first. Ignore that glossiness. We'll fix that in a minute. It's very annoying, I know. And the first time when you look at this, let's put the intensity of the Skydome a little bit down. When you see this, the first time when I did the export and then imported it into Arnold and everything, it looked like this. I was like, I don't want it that glossy. What's happening? Well, I'll show you how I fix this. Let's add some lights as well. First, I always do directional light. That's kind of our sun as well. In Blender, you actually have a sunlight called sun. Okay. I switched off the Skydome so I can see the effect my directional light will have on the scene. As you can see, I've hidden my Skydome light. Okay, so let's rotate this one, get the angle we want. Yeah. Later on, I played with both of them, with the directional light and the Skydome light, when I was setting up the other renders for the blend shape test, because I did proper render for the blend shape test. I think I did. And I did no, actually a rig test, and I just decided to render the animation as well. So I opened my Skydome light as well. It's pretty decent. Let's get area light, but I got the area lights from actually the Arnold tab. But you can as well use the area light from where we got the directional light from as well. It's fine. To be honest, I think there is a bit of a difference, but I can't pinpoint it. What's the difference between using that Arnold area light and Maya area light? So what I usually try to do with the area light is get like a 3-point view, one on top, which we're setting up now. Now I'm adding atmosphere as well. I like that because it gives it that nice, not foggy, but it literally adds atmosphere to the picture. It doesn't look as flat. So I just usually use 0.001 or 0.002, maximum 0.003, because then it adds up to the render times as well. So we need to be careful with that. It's a really good effect, but okay. Yes, let's increase the intensity of the area light. Let's see what works best for that scene. Scale it up. The more we scale the area lights, the more we need to increase the intensity. Make sense? So you need to start with whatever feels right, and then if you need to scale the light, make sure Shift and D to duplicate it, turn it on the left. So we've got for that angle a bit of light. So the bigger the light, the more intensity you will need. But area lights work best if they are smaller. I mean, I've used area lights for bigger, but it depends on the scene. As you play with the lights, you'll see, Okay, let's put on this side, coming from the bottom as well, light. Rotate it a little bit. I like setting up lights for each angle, not because when you animate it later on, what if part of it doesn't render right or something's wrong with it, So let's put a light at the back as well. And then I just, for different angles, I just play with my directional light and with my Skydome light. I just keep rotating them to get different effect. Okay, let's zoom in and see what we get there. So at the moment, we were playing just with the area lights. Now I'm opening my Skydome and my directional light as well to combine all of it together to see how that works out. Maybe change the intensity of the Skydome light a bit. A little bit higher. Let's use some, I love using color temperature for the lights. It makes it nicer, not so sterile, like they say. Yeah, so my area lights and my directional light are different colors. It depends on the mood you want to get. I like using really warm colors, unless the scene is some dark night scene where you need colder colors. But even then, you can use a touch of warm color for the lights. It depends on the scene really, and it depends on what we're trying to get out of the picture as well, I guess. Okay, let's change that roughness, that shininess. You see, I'm changing the specular roughness. I'm bumping it up and tiny bit of the diffuse roughness. The diffuse roughness I usually don't touch too much. More I play with the specular roughness to get rid of that shininess. So if we're happy with this, then I'm gonna transfer these roughness numbers into the other ones as well. Yeah. Yeah, it looks better, doesn't it? Not that shiny anymore. Shininess, it depends. I did to Tweety Cup the same way I did Pascal with textures from Zbrush, and there actually I left the shininess because the Tweety Cup is like ceramic, isn't it? So I had to have that shininess there. Worked really well, but doesn't work for Pascal, so we can bump it up. And it looks much better, doesn't it? Yeah, you can see the top one is poking through a little bit because I'm in the smooth mode and I haven't adjusted that part. But that's the good thing about having different models. I can just drag it a little bit down. Now I'm changing the roughness to the rest of the models to the same one like I did for the body. So it's all the same roughness levels, if I may say levels. Can't find the right word at the moment. And since I changed the diffuse roughness as well. So for all the models that I have, I changed the roughness and the diffuse roughness to the same value. That's the word, value. You know, when you're trying to look for to look for a word, and it's like literally at the top of your tongue, and you're like, ah, yeah. So the same values, yeah. Okay. Now we're waiting for the IPR render. Let's center it a little bit, see how that works. This is some more for checking the texture, see whether we got the result we wanted, and how, very important, how it's going to render in our render engine. In my case, it's Arnold. So we can move on with the other part. That's my process. That's what I do. I like creating this. I like creating all the textures and everything. And once, if I work with a client on a project, once this is approved, then I move on to the next stage, which will be the rigging and animation. Exciting and complicated. I know. What am I doing here? Oh, that's the eyeglass part that I'm doing. Remember, I was saying that this little part, we will texture it as glass so we get that nice effect on the eye. You see? Looks nice already. Very nice. I'm actually very happy with the texturing part. Very, very happy. It turned out really well. That part turned out really well. Yeah, you can see I haven't amended that top bit here. And later on, you would notice in the renders, because now it's not that big, but when I opened the rendered IPR picture, you could see the detail on the eyes. So I had to put the eyes in smooth mode as well, because it didn't have, it was a bit edgy. You can't see it here, but later on, when you open the picture on a bigger screen, you can definitely tell. Saving the image. I like saving it in my render data IPR images. That separates my images that I render for image sequence and my IPR images. Because IPR, I don't know how it's for you, but the IPR renders are not exactly the same like the render, the image render, the renders image sequence ones that I do. That's why I like separating them. Anyway, you can see here on the eye that it's not in smooth mode and it's a bit edgy. So later on, I just added this like a smooth modifier, just 3 on the keyboard. There we go. We're gonna fix that bit a little bit. There we are. It's because the body is in smooth mode, so obviously it shrunk a little bit from the. So I'll need to amend that part as well. Too much better there. Are we done? No, we're not done. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm creating a layer. That's very important part. To create layers for different stuff. Later on, you'll see we're gonna use it for rigging and animation to be able to hide stuff and just reference, especially objects and models which are around the model that we're working on. Increase my brush size, grab brush on the sculpt mode so I can just put it down a little bit. Yeah, because if I didn't use the smooth modifier for the body, you could see the edges. You can see actually the edges here on the IPR render. The edges here are tiny bit edgy, and we don't want that. But that's why we have smooth modifiers, don't we? Adding subdivisions without actually adding subdivisions. I love that. Oh, it was good. I'm just checking whether other parts are not poking through. That looks really good. So I used my channel box layer for the lights to switch off and on the lights. Because sometimes we have so much lights. Let's say we're talking about lights. I've got so many lights in the scene. In that big scene I had recently, it had so many lights. So going through them, hiding them and hiding them, selecting them, hiding them and hiding them, just takes time, doesn't it? That's where the layers, creating of the layers here on the right comes in. And it's so handy. That's in case if you don't know about the layers. I didn't in the beginning when I started working with Maya. I think once I start rigging and animating, I've learned about it. Yeah. And ever since I started using it, because it just makes sense. Quickly hiding and unhiding big group of objects and lights and everything. And that looks good. Save image. Looks really good. I'm very happy with the textures. Did I say I'm happy with the textures? Yeah, this was good. It turned out really well. But now I realize his eyebrows should have been closer. Here on the nose area should have been closer together. Yeah, never mind. That's alright. Shall I fast forward? Yeah, let's fast forward. I think now it's just testing and, doing IPR renders and saving the images. For those of you who don't know how to do this from the IPR render. Is there still a bit of shininess there, or maybe I forgot to change the top bit? I think that's what I did. Forgot to change the roughness for the one on the top of the head. Yeah, rendering a few different views to see how it renders. Close view, more further view as well. It's very important the close view first because, since I'm going to be doing blend shapes close, I want it to look good, don't I? And I'm checking whether I've got enough detail, how it renders. The mouth as well, the mouth cavity, how it renders, because once I start rigging it, not that I can't change it afterwards, but once I start rigging it and I open the mouth, I connect the jaw joint and the control, and I open the mouth, and then I realize, the mouth is not as it should be. I think here I decided to just go with texturing the mouth, just select a few faces that I want, and just assign new material to it in my Arnold. It worked really well. And we're done with this one. Okay, I think I'm assigning a new material to the mouth once I start doing probably blend shapes or before that. So the next part will be the blend shapes. Okay, and hopefully I'll get to do it this week, but if not, I'll see you next week. Thank you.